recording. We are recording this webinar. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this lovely, blustery Tuesday evening. Thank you for joining us at our second annual Finding Funds for College webinar. College is one of the largest financial investments that you'll make with your family. The cost of tuition alone can run from $5,000 to $60,000 per year. We believe that our young adults begin their lifelong journey after high school. The most successful start is a sound educational foundation that will put them on their path to success. Whether it's a certificate or a degree, this webinar is a great source of finding the funds to pay for college. Don't let the opportunity for college slip by because of lack of money. So relax, tune in, ask questions, and take advantage of the information shared so that you and your family can cover the cost of that all important post-high school education to help your young persons attain their dreams and become productive, contributing members of society. Our guests this evening are Carlita Ferbert from BELCO and Lindia Bean and Shantia Smith from HSBC. Without further ado, we will start with our guests from HSBC. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. All right. So good evening, everyone. My name is Chantal Smith, and I am joined here with my colleague, Lindia Bean. This evening, we will be presenting on ways to start to finance your education journey. So just to give a little bit of background, I have been with HSBC for 6 years. I am a senior premium banker here at HSBC. I started off as a premium banker where I then advanced to an advanced banker, which now I am in the role of a senior premium banker. So my role is to support a customer in any aspect of their financial journey. I'm here to help you to understand what it is that you need to achieve, any goals that you may have, and bridge any gaps.
Okay, my name is Lindia Bean. I will have been at HSBC come April for 5 years. I actually started out as a summer student. And once I did graduate from college, I did become hired in the direct banking space. So currently I hold the role of mobile sales specialist.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with our presentation. So how to start your financial journey for an education. All right. So on today's agenda, we will be discussing what an education loan is, who and how you can apply, what are the requirements for an education loan, factors that determine eligibility, add-on products that can assist with your education journey, and then we will end the presentation with any questions that you may have, and we will answer them to the best of our ability. So what is an education loan? An education loan is a sum of money borrowed to finance your education or higher related, presentation's clear. Higher related education. The loans are intended to cover things such as tuition, books, supplies, living expenses, while the borrower is in the process of earning their degree. There are 2 types of education loans. It is a secured education loan or unsecured education loan. Both loans have a maximum term of 5 years with repayments of both principal and interest. A secured education loan has an interest rate of 6%, and an unsecured education loan has an interest rate of 7%. What is the difference between a secured and an unsecured loan? A secured loan is protected by an asset or collateral until the loan has been paid in full. If you do not repay your secured loan, the bank may repossess the asset you used to secure the loan. Your secured loan can be secured against a property, cash, or any other asset that is of value. Whereas an unsecured loan is money that you borrow without having to use something of value that you earn as collateral. unsecured loans can be borrowed up to approximately $80,000. Down below, we have provided the link to our website, which allows you to go straight to our education loan page, which provides you with a little bit more information in regards to education, but we will also cover some bases that are on that website as well.
So who can apply and how? First and foremost, a customer that actually applies for an education loan must be 18 years and older. A parent and or guardian can apply. We do also specify that it has to be a full-time employed student, because in many cases, we actually receive applications for customers that are actually the student. A common misconception people have is they think because there is an education loan that the student can actually apply. We emphasize full-time employed because in the cases in which we can extend the education loan to the student is when they are still employed. So for example, students that are doing online courses but still hold a job and still will be receiving a salary, they are eligible to apply. Students that will be going overseas but they're still paid by a company can apply. But if you are a student and you will not be receiving a salary while you are taking out this education loan, unfortunately, you're not eligible to receive that facility. And we also say other because any person can take out an education loan on another student's behalf if they wish to give them that education loan. The two ways in which you can book the appointment is either through branch or apply online. So when you book an appointment for a branch appointment for the purpose of an education loan, we just ask that you contact our contact center who can be able to assist you with the booking. That number is 299-5959. The other option is to apply online. The incentive for doing so is that you actually save on the $200 on the initial banking fees that are received. To apply online, you can log on to your online banking and complete the application. But another way in which it's sometimes easier for our customers to see is when you go on the hsbc.bm website and you hover over the products tab. You can go to the education loan and it will prompt on the right-hand side, it will be like apply online. So each type of credit facility has that button where you can be able to apply online, where it directs you to the online application. So that covers that portion. So what are the requirements for an education loan? So first and foremost, the customer must hold an HSBC bank account. We also require an acceptance letter and tuition schedule. The tuition schedule can be found on a lot of college websites. It would outline what the semester course would be. In addition to tuition schedules, sometimes customers want to also include for, like, let's say airfare or rent, like room and board, so they will provide a rental lease. We can also accept that if that's an add-on of what you want to borrow the money for. We require valid identification. If a customer who is applying for the education loan has their salary is received into another bank, in that case, we require the most recent 3 months bank statements if they don't receive a salary in their HSBC account. If a customer does hold accounts at other banks, we are required to do credit checks. So that's only on the basis that a customer holds accounts at other banks. And home insurance policy is, if applicable, is mainly if in the event that a customer who's applying owns a home, pays home insurance, or has a mortgage property. That prompts us to receive the home insurance to be able to confirm that as an expense. And other documents may be required on a case-by-case basis. So, many applications are different. So not one case fits all is for a customer. So sometimes, depending on the circumstance, we may require additional documentation. And factors that determine eligibility. So first and foremost, the customer must have good credit. One of the first checks that we do with any credit application, education loan included, is that we are required to do a Bermuda Credit Association credit check. So once an application is received, we automatically do that. If a customer is listed at Bermuda Credit Association, unfortunately, they won't be eligible to receive any credit facility, even if it's an education loan on behalf of someone else. So first and foremost, you have to ensure that the customer isn't listed there. Other local banks, if applicable. So if you hold, for example, an account at Bank of Butterfield and you have a credit card there, we are required to get a credit check signed where we forward it to them so that they can be able to fill out what you hold there and how, if you have a credit facility, how it has been handled. So we have to ensure that that's been handled as agreed in order to proceed with extending any credit to you. In addition to that, we also have to look at how current HSBC credit facilities are handled. So we have to ensure that you hold a loan here at HSBC Bermuda, you hold any credit cards or mortgage, that those payments have been made on time. Because in the case of extreme delinquencies, if it's anything more than 3 times late within the last year, that can result in an automatic decline for any education loan. Another factor that we look at when looking to extend credit to our customers is a debt service ratio. So this is basically just ensuring that your expenses don't exceed more than 55% of your income. So we look at your income being your salary. Another form of income for a lot of our customers is rental income. So we would total that. Now, keep in mind, another fact to inform customers, and this is a great avenue to be able to reiterate it, is that we can only use 50% of rental income, unfortunately. So if, let's say, a customer has a salary from their full-time job of, let's say $4,000, and they receive rental income of $2,000, we're only able to use $1,000 of that to score you. So in total, you're only going to be using $5,000 for income. On the flip side, on the expense side, we can be looking at, let's say, a mortgage payment. We're going to total that with your proposed loan payment, inclusive of what the rate Chantal had mentioned prior, which in most cases in my space within direct banking will be 7% because it's through the unsecured channel. We would include that loan payment plus any other expenses you had, and you can divide your expenses by your total income, and then you can times it by 100. So a lot of times that can give you an idea of what if you're within guidelines to be able to be eligible to receive the credit facility.
So some add-on products that can assist with children going off to school or getting an education loan. We do offer an account which is called Quarterly Bonus Savings Account. So it functions like a regular everyday savings account. However, this account does generate a bonus interest. So how this account pretty much works is the account will get the standard rate monthly interest like a regular everyday savings account, but the bank pays an incentive interest every quarter into the account if no withdrawals are made from this account. So for example, in Q1 of the year, so January to March, there is one withdrawal that's made from your account. At the end of that quarter, the bank will not give you the incentive interest because you've made a withdrawal. However, come Q2, which is April to June, if all you're doing is just adding funds to the account and no withdrawals have been made, then the bank would then pay you a bonus incentive interest. So there's no penalty or fee if you were to do a withdrawal from this account, but you just wouldn't receive the incentive interest that the bank would have given you had no withdrawals been made. So you would receive standard rate interest at the end of each month and then bonus interest if no withdrawals are made. So this account does function like an everyday savings account. So it only requires a minimum deposit of $100 to open it. There's no standing instructions that you have to constantly service the account every month. You can periodically deposit in the account to add to it. And then once you add to it, that's when the interest will be calculated on a daily basis that is paid out monthly and then quarterly. Another product that we offer that can assist with children going off to school as well is credit cards. So as a credit card holder, a parent can be the primary on their credit card and give their child access as a secondary holder. Secondaries are not responsible for the credit cards, but they do still have access to them. So some of the credit card types that we do offer are our Visa Classic cards, Visa Gold, Premier MasterCards, and Premier Black. All our HSBC credit cards do earn reward points, and the reward points are earned for every dollar that you spend. So for our Visa Classic card, you earn 1 reward point for every dollar spent. For our Visa Gold card, you earn 1.2 reward points for every dollar spent. Our Premier MasterCard, you earn 1.5 reward points for every dollar spent. And then for our Premier Black card, you earn 2 reward points for every dollar spent. So as I did mention, the reward points are earned for every dollar that is spent on the card. The reward points, however, do expire every 3 years from their original inception. So some of the things that are most popular for redeeming your reward points are a lot of people tend to use them when purchasing airline tickets. Also, a lot of people tend to use them as cash back as an option. And then also with purchasing things off of Amazon or buying iTunes cards. Those are just some of the popular things that people tend to use the reward points for. However, is a wide range of things that you can use your reward points for. One thing that I did want to make mention in regards to purchasing airline tickets is our credit cards don't specify a certain airline. There is a list of airlines that you can use your reward points for. So it doesn't necessarily say that you have to use it for American or you have to use it for British Airways. It's a wide range list of different airlines that you can use your reward points for. And down below on the right-hand side of our presentation, there's also the link to our website that you can visit, which can also offer you other types of credit cards that we offer as well. So thank you for allowing us to present. This is the end of our presentation. So we would like to open the floor for any questions that you guys may have. Just as a point, on the left-hand side of our presentation, there is a scan QR code. So please feel free to scan the code so that you can visit our website to learn more about our education loans. But at this time, we would like to open the floor for any questions that you guys may have.
So the students cannot, they can have a credit card, but it's really their parents' credit card and they're a secondary user.
Correct.
Correct. Unless they, yes, correct.
Unless they are working adults. Really.
Yes, full-time.
Correct. Yes.
Full-time employed.
So there are no such thing as student loans from HSBC.
No. So there used to be years ago where we did offer student loans. However, with time changing and policies as well, now we just offer the education loans. There are some stipulations that we can give a little bend to when it comes to either doing interest only for a certain period of time and then principal and interest payments, but those can all be discussed if that is an option that a customer would like to take instead of just doing the straight principal and interest payments from the beginning.
So
also, I'd like to how long would a student need to be working if they were a working student to qualify? How long would they need to have had a job or be in the working world? Would it 6 months, a year to qualify for either a loan or a credit card?
Yeah, so for all applications, we do require at least 3 months of income. However, if a student has just started a job and they are on a probation period, we do require the probation period to be completed first before they apply for the facility, because as we know, probation is just a test period. So at the end of that probation, they may not secure that full-time position. So the only requirement for a full-time student is that they have secured employment at the time when they are taking out the facility.
And does that employment have to be in Bermuda or could they be employed overseas? So if the young person was a Bermudian but is employed in Canada full-time, could they take out a loan through HSBC with their full-time employment in Canada or the UK or the US?
So it is based off of local income.
Yes, I mean, the only way, I'll be completely transparent. We have, so some places where we have to verify income if it's, I mean, I want to say that Bermuda Tourism Authority also has this, where sometimes you're paid through Bermuda Tourism Authority, but you receive your salary into a US account because you're stationed there. It's still a branch of a Bermuda location. So that's something we have creativity to be able to push through. However, if it is a overseas bank and it doesn't have any type of ties to Bermuda, any type of branch, then unfortunately we wouldn't be able to proceed with that.
So if the individual was living in Canada and they had a HSBC in Canada, would they qualify if they had full-time employment?
Through a Canadian company?
Yes, but
No,
with an HSBC bank, okay.
No, unfortunately, no.
So it has to be tied to a local company and
Correct.
an HSBC bank.
Yes, because unfortunately, we're not able to even be able to do sales with customers that are overseas as well. Another requirement is you actually have to be physically on island. One of the first questions that we ask customers when we even review applications through the online channel is, are you currently on island? Because we do have cross-border policies that prevents us from making any type of sales to customers that are overseas. The only facilities in which we can actually do so is for credit card limit increases. And that's because this credit card's already been sold. So if any of the parents wish to, let's say, add a secondary for one of the credit cards, they can do so still, and they can do an increase if they want to give their child access to more funds. But a lot of times parents prefer to apply for a whole separate credit card, I guess, due to, trust. But you're giving a student a lot of access to, credit card debt. So sometimes they like to keep that separate.
Called money management.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What's the experience? Can you speak to experience of a parent who came in and what was their process around taking out a loan to secure education funds for their child?
So every situation really is different. So it really is according to the customer at the time, but it has been experiences where customers have come in to request the full financing for their entire school term. So for the 4 years, as long as it fits within eligibility, we do what we call is a drawdown process. So funds are approved and granted, and they're there a drawdown as needed. So we release the funds each semester or each time rent needs to be paid or something. So it really depends on the customer and what it is that they need. And then sometimes we do have customers that come in and only borrow for the first year because they have high hopes or they anticipate their child getting some form of scholarship, or they're able to save for the next school year. So sometimes customers don't have to borrow for the entirety of their child's school fees. So it really depends on each customer and what their circumstances are coming in.
And you also, just to branch off of what Chantal said as well, you can make principal payments to the loan in that event. Let's say that you apply for like $60,000. Your child was good enough, great, lucky enough and well deserving enough to receive a scholarship. They can make a principal payment to that loan where they can pay it off, and it's no penalty to do so. You would just draw up a ladder and just make that instruction, and then that can be submitted. So it's no penalty for that. I just want to point out, because I do see some messages coming in. I wouldn't say student loans are primarily, well, it seems that way, right? Because they're the ones that typically are the ones that are employed still. So yes, they would be in most cases the larger bracket of students that can't receive the education loan on their own behalf. However, yeah, I would say I would agree, but I don't want to say primarily but yes, and yes. Does HSBC offer budget or money management? Chantal, you did a presentation on this prior, right? For the second part? Yes.
Yeah, so budgeting. Okay. So we don't necessarily offer a course. We have did presentations on budgeting. However, a lot of people don't tend to know that they can book an appointment to actually meet with a customer service representative so that we can offer a financial review or any form of financial advice. So that is something that you can book an appointment for, to come in and meet with someone, because a lot of people don't know what budgeting is or how to budget or even just how to manage finances on a whole. So that is something that we do offer and that we can assist customers with doing. So if this is something that you are interested in doing, then you can book yourself an appointment with an in-branch representative. So it will be either myself or someone on my team that you will meet with, and we can go over everything with you, what your financial goals may be, how we can assist you with potentially reaching those financial goals, and then also offer some form of advice as well. So what things we can do to alter what you currently have in place so that it could look like it's speeding up a little bit more faster than probably what you were doing on your own.
Thank you. Thank you so much. If there are any other questions from the audience. If you want to type them in the chat, you can do that too. And Chantel and Lindia have put up their business card.
Yes, I'm sorry with the lack of picture.
That's okay.
Not the most photogenic, I guess.
Can
Dry
we,
humor.
if you send us the PowerPoint, can you send us a PowerPoint presentation for us to share to the
Sure,
audience?
of course.
Okay.
Yeah, so there is our emails. Like Lindia said, she is in our mobile sales team, so she will be the person of contact if you were to apply online. And then I will be the point of contact for anyone that walks into the branch or makes the branch appointment. So you guys are more than welcome to email us if you guys do have any other questions, or even if you want to schedule an appointment, we're more than welcome to answer any questions that you may have. And if there is anything that we may have not discussed that you do have questions about that are not related to this presentation, we don't mind answering those questions as
Yes.
well.
Thank you so much, ladies. It's been most enlightening. Thank you so much. And I'm hoping that the attendees can understand how they can make loans. Although some of our young people will receive scholarships, it may not cover the full amount. So families may have to take out loans to subsidize whatever is left. Thank you so much. Are you guys gonna hang around for a little while? You can if you want to. If not, we
Okay.
appreciate you.
Okay,
Yeah, we
thank
can
you.
hang around for a little.
Okay,
Thanks.
so
Right, but
now,
thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So now we're gonna have Kalita Furbert from BELCO share about scholarships and apprenticeships opportunities through BELCO and also interview skills, right, Ms. Kalita?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. As introduced, I am Kalita Furbert. I'm the HR manager here at Liberty Group, which is a parent company of BELCO, sorry. We have Fernando Brown as well, who is here to speak to everyone about the apprentice program. He is an apprentice, current apprentice right now. This is his first year. He would have been completing his first year now. So he's going to speak to his experiences with regards to the BELCO apprenticeship program. So I just wanted to, sorry for lack of a PowerPoint presentation, but we will have some things that we'll send over for everyone to have and take home with them. But just to talk a little bit about our apprenticeship program so far, I'll start with that, and then we'll go into our summer student program as well as our scholarships. At the end, I'll speak to our interview skills as well. So I'm going to try to keep this brief. With the apprenticeship program, this program is a 4-year program. This program actually is a contractual agreement. So you will come on board as an employee. With this program, you will have the ability to earn a salary as you learn. So with this program as well, you would have, you'll be going back and forth to school. So right now we do have Fernando, who is here on island, but he will be traveling back to the UK to go to school. But while he's in school, he will actually get paid. Okay, everything is paid for. Everything is it's accommodated when it comes to the accommodations. Everything is paid for when it comes to let's see, Fernando, help me out here. So we have the accommodations. We also have any type of supplies that are needed. We will actually cover those costs. Okay,
and meals
meals as well, correct. So this is also we are in conjunction with National Training Board. So National Training Board will pay for a portion of this experience, and then we will cover the rest. Okay, so let me just go back a little bit. When it comes to BELCO, we have a few departments that utilize the apprenticeship program. So we have our bulk generation department. Bulk generation is those persons that are in our power plant. So you see the smokestacks that have been in the news quite often. That is bulk generation. So we have a lot of our employees who will work within that plant. So we have mechanical and electrical fitters. All of this information as to what they do is actually on our BELCO website. So if you want to get into a little bit more detail, you can go onto the BELCO website to see what it is that they do. We also have transmission, distribution, and retail. That is where Fernando is actually located right now. Those are the linesmen, jointers, the fitters. So Fernando is a jointer. Those persons that you see on the roadside now, when it comes down to trenching, that is what transmission and distribution entails. Okay, we also have a fleet department, so that is our garage. So that garage as well, they do have apprentices here and there. We don't have any apprentices currently. One actually is in school, but he hasn't physically gone through the 4-year apprenticeship program. So with that, we do have those persons who may be interested in auto mechanics that can apply for this particular program. Now, we do not have an apprenticeship program this year. We did have one a year ago. And of course, that we hired about 14 apprentices. So we have utilized the headcount that we had for the next 2 years. We are looking to open back up the apprentice program next year. So if you do have any questions regarding that, please feel free to reach out, okay? The requirements for this application process when it comes to the apprenticeship program is you need to complete a high school diploma or GED or equivalent. You'll have to be 18 years or older. So we do prefer 18 to 25, but within this last batch that we did have a few apprentices that were 30 years old. The ability to travel overseas for training. Most of the training is in the UK. We do have a few apprentices that are in the US, well, in Canada right now, but that is mainly based on the auto mechanics. Okay. Also the ability to successfully pass a drug test. Now, when it comes down to the application process, the application process is fairly long. So we do at the beginning advise everyone who applied that there will be a drug test. So if there is anyone that smokes, we need to make sure that you can get that out of your system by the time you get to the end of the process. And if you are successful, that drug test needs to be clean, right? With that application process, it also includes an online submission. So we normally put all of this out in the newspaper. We have media ads that go out. We have social media, it's LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram. You would see a lot of ads going out for this particular program. The online submission will be based on, or it will be on our website. And so you would have to attach your resume. There is an essay that you would have to attach. Any references, so we ask for 2 references, and educational transcripts, okay? Once you apply for the role, we do a vetting process. The last vetting process, we had about 180 candidates. We narrowed it down to 90. And once we've narrowed it down, there will be a theoretical test that you would have to do. So it's a multiple choice test that you have to do. And once you've completed that, if you have passed, it's 70% or above. There's a practical assessment as well. So it's a hands-on assessment where you'll have different nuts and bolts that you'll have to take apart, put back together again. So they want to see the hands-on, someone who can actually work with their hands and have had maybe experiences on their fixing their bikes or whatever the case may be. So we do have that practical exam as well. Once that practical exam is complete, there is an interview process if you make it. So we'll narrow it down again. That interview process, it's probably about a 15-minute interview where it will be a panel and you will be involved in that interview process. There's another shortlisting after that, and we have to shortlist it down to at least 20 candidates. Within that shortlisting process, there is a boot camp next. So this year is the first year we've completed this boot camp. It was a 7-day boot camp, whereas the candidates would have various different activities that they have to take part in, and Fernando would speak a little bit to that. There was a portion where they had to go on an island and conduct different activities as well. So that I will leave to Fernando to speak on in a little bit more depth. Also, once you've passed the boot camp, there we go down to the drug testing and criminal background checks. So we do those, and then we make the final selections after that of the candidates. So it's a tedious process in which we select our candidates, but at the same time, we want to make sure we get the best candidates for the role, and which is why if you're trying to narrow down from 180 to 14, we have to go through a tedious process like that. Does anybody have any questions about the apprenticeship program before we move on and I bring on Fernando?
Yeah, after they're finished their program, and there is they come back to become employed in the contract, is there a minimum number of years that they need to give to BELCO?
So there is years that they have to give back to BELCO, absolutely. There is a minimum of 2 years, I believe. And so what normally happens in that case is that if you don't give those years back, there's a possibility you'll have to pay back some of those, maybe the educational fees or I guess the accommodation fees. I think all of that is included. So it is a process. And if the company is spending a significant amount of money, it's you either put that time in or you have to pay it back. Absolutely.
Of course, thank you.
No problem. So once you actually finish those if I can step back a little bit, as you're completing those 4 years of the apprenticeship program, you have the ability to move up in the field as well. So we have a set of job cards that the apprentices are required to complete. Once they complete these set of job cards, they can move up, so they can upgrade as they go. So they wouldn't stay an apprentice. They will stay an apprentice as the contract states, but they are able to get salary increases. They're able to get more experience, more exposure as they continue on in the program. Okay. All right, Fernando, if we could just get you to just speak a little bit to the program itself and what you've experienced thus far. Okay.
Okay. Evening, everyone. I'm Fernando Brown. So the application process, I'll start there. So first, I think I was in a group chat with a bunch of my friends, and they must have posted that BELCO was hiring new apprentices. At first, I looked at it and I was like, I don't know if I'm just wasting my time, but I might just try it. So I tried it. I wrote my letter, and I submitted it. And then after that, I was accepted as one of the applicants for the next round. So the next round, as Khalida said, was the testing, multiple choice, plus a bit of problem solving for math. Now, math for me I was a good student in math when I was in high school, but I've been out of school for a few years now, more than like the younger apprentices. So I knew it was going to be a bit of a challenge for me to just remember everything. So I gave it my best shot. I knew I at least passed it. I don't think I did my best that I could have. But besides that, I went on to the practical skills part, or the hand skills, and on that I aced. I was like one of the top students when it came to the hand skills. After the hand skills part, then came the interview. And interviews make me very, very nervous. So I had to practice, go over my lines, make sure I knew what I was talking about, and successfully completed that and moved on to the next round. Next round was the boot camp. And the boot camp insisted of us going up to national stadiums early in the morning, running around the track, trying to get the best time you can, doing a push-up challenge, a sit-up challenge. So on the first time when I did it, I was just trying to pace myself, trying to understand if it was more of a competition or more as we should just help out each other alongside doing the competition. So the first round, the first days, I was helping everybody along because I saw that some people was a little bit more unfit than others, but I was pretty fit at the time, still fit now, but I said I'll try to help push everybody along. So the days went on, we did various other exercises where we was also up with the regiment, and they had us complete a few different exercises, going through their the journey of like climbing over the ropes, crawling through the tunnels, and different various things like that. And we also got to participate in, I believe it's called the escape room. So it was an exercise that kind of helped us to kind of trust each other more. So also it was various other exercises that we did that just kind of just helped our team building and make us come together and allow I'll say allow HR and all the team leaders to, get like a good understanding of our character. So after completing the boot camp, now came the induction day. So on the first day that we was inducted, we was told that we were supposed to observe, just go along and observe for the first couple of months before we guys get all in and active. Well, the task that the group of employees that I was allocated to were the jointers from the beginning. So I went with the jointers, and it was basically the underground. We had to pull in some cable from a transformer to another Piedmont transformer. And I just couldn't stand there and just watch all my team just struggle. So I just jumped in one time, which was like greatly commended from my other employees. So they really appreciated me for that. So I feel like that's why I was chosen for the jointers instead of becoming a linesman or fitter, because I started with the jointers for about, I'll say 2 to 3 weeks. Then you had to move around and do a rotation of working with other people in the TDNR department, which is the linesmen, fitters, and the jointers. So I went around for about, I'll say, about 7 months or so, and just in various different groups. And from there, then they picked who they wanted as their jointers, the fitters, and the linesmen. So from that process, I just feel like I got the opportunity to become a jointer, which is what I first wanted to do anyways, from me just showing my engagement and my determination to just be a part of the team. Right now, I'm back and forth in school. So right now I'm in the UK, in the Southwest. So while we're in school in the UK, we get to work on our hand skills in a more controlled environment. So we got more time to understand what we're doing, why we're doing it, and better ways to do it, and better techniques that I can bring back home to Bermuda to include in what we already do. Also, while we're there, we have started our college program now. We started in January. So first we started off with health and safety, and the next task after that will be the math portion, which I'll be out there in March, around March 11th, 12th, to be a part of the math part of my City and Guilds. So right now, I'm still enjoying what I'm doing right now. I love being able to be back and forth, taking things here, taking the knowledge that I'm already experienced here out there. Because the way how BELCO did the program this year, I feel like it was very beneficial to us, because we was able to be a part of the national grid, but at the same time, we was kind of ahead of all the other students because we already been trained here prior to. So we was well prepared, I'll say, for the experience that we guys are doing now. And with the outward bound that we did here, it was in preparation for the outward bound that we will be doing sometime in October later this year. So I feel like this year I'm enjoying the process and everything so far about the company that I've became a part of.
Awesome. Thank you, Fernando. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Fernando. Quite
Yes.
detailed.
Absolutely. I do see a question here. For those who aren't great with math and testing in general, are there multiple opportunities to take the test? There are not multiple opportunities to take the test, but we do actually have, we did post mock tests on the website. So we gave links because a lot of it may be physics as well. And I know Parsons, if you go to high school, you can choose whether you want to do physics or not. And so if you don't get that opportunity to do so, we give you links. And so we give you more than enough time to sort of get your bearings together, as well as maybe utilizing some help from others. You know, so yeah, there's only one chance for you to take the exam, but you have plenty of opportunity to prepare. Okay. Any other questions pertaining to the apprenticeship program?
I have a question, not necessarily to that apprenticeship program, but if a student is doing, say, electrical or mechanical engineering or some other sort of engineering that may not necessarily be suited to that program, I don't know if it is or not, that they're going maybe a more traditional route at an engineering school. Does BELCO offer any support for those students?
Absolutely. We do have an EIT program, so it's an engineering training program. Now, this program, of course, you'll have to complete a year of, or you'll have to complete a specific certification in engineering first. There's other opportunities to get there, whether it be scholarships through BELCO, whether it be just reaching out. So sometimes we do have persons that reach out to us and say, you know what, this is my forte, this is what I want to do. Can you assist? Of course, that happens in some cases. We do have students from high school that come and do work shadowing. So it's a lot of different opportunities to get there. But once you do get there, there is the EIT program where either or whoever's interested can have about, I think it's about 4 years as well, where they will train you, they'll develop you to become a full-time engineer. Hopefully that helps.
Yes, so they would contact you or contact your office to find out more?
Absolutely. So they'll contact the office. What I'll do is I will give my details at the end of this session, or I'll also give just a generic email address as well, so you can contact us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so just moving on, the summer program and the scholarships, that's pretty straightforward. We do have 4 scholarships. They are located on our website as well. If you go onto belco.bm, there is a tab that says community support. So you will look on the community support tab, and it will give you the different scholarships that we do have to offer. Our scholarships, we have 2 that are for $25,000. We also have 2 that can range from $2,500 to $20,000. One of the scholarships is actually for business. So if you have anyone who's interested in business or finance, that scholarship is for $25,000. That's a postgraduate scholarship. We also have an engineering scholarship, which is for $25,000. That is per year, and it can be up to 4 years. Then we also have a STEM scholarship as well. That is from $2,500 to $20,000. So that is within science, technology, engineering, or math. Okay. So there, if you have a look, I believe the scholarship process is open now. We do have a specific generalist here in HR that deals with that. But if you go on the website, it will give you the option to apply, and it will take you directly to the scholarships website. Okay, and you can apply directly through there. It'll give you all of the requirements, the criteria, and all of the documentation that needs to be uploaded. And then we have our summer student program. So our summer student program is actually open now as well. We normally take candidates that have completed a year of university or Bermuda College, but we have in some cases allowed students that have just completed high school to come on board, depending on their areas of interest. Right now, we currently, well, this summer, we will currently have students within our fleet. So at our garage, we'll also have some students in the engineering portion, as well as over in our plant. So they will see what the plant looks like and how to sort of mechanically deal with the issues that happen over in the plant. And then we do have a few engineers as well that we will be looking for. So, or students that are looking to do engineering. So if you do have any questions regarding that, as I said at the end, I'll give my details and you can reach out to me with regards to the summer student program. Okay. That closes the 28th of February, and then we start the shortlisting process from there. We also do have some opportunities within the business support areas. So say, for example, human resources, finance, we have compliance, we have legal services, IT. We do have some openings as well for those particular areas. So if you do have anyone or have someone that is interested, yes, please let us know. Okay. So lastly, quickly, we'll speak on the interview skills. Now I have interviewed, like I've been in HR for probably about 15 years now. And interviewing has probably been, or recruitment has been my forte from the time I started within HR. So just a few tips for everyone for everyone that may have children within this area, looking to maybe interview or look to recruit. While we look to recruit for specific roles, we just want to make sure that we can have sort of do's and don'ts when it comes to interview skills. Okay, so first and foremost, when it comes to applying for a particular role, I like to be transparent. We do have a lot of parents that come to us and ask for information when it comes to their child, looking to maybe apply for a particular role or whatnot. We don't like that. So if you have a child that is interested in a specific role, please get them to reach out to us. To us, it looks as if the child or the candidate is, eager to get a role, eager to come on board. They are determined, and that's all of the things that we look for when it comes to recruiting people. Okay, so just making sure that they are well prepared. Now, there are plenty of opportunities or plenty of links on Google where you can sort of Google generic questions that may be asked within an interview, right? We like when someone is prepared, because majority of the time, some of those questions will come up in an interview. So when preparing for an interview or a role, you would need to know the company. So know something about that company. With her and BELCO, Fernando could tell you, that's one question we ask. What do you know about BELCO? What do you know about Liberty Group? All of that information is on the website. So you can basically, or the student can say, I know that BELCO has been around for 110 years. I know BELCO is looking to go, or they're trying to sustain energy now. So they're looking at sustainable ways to sort of like wind turbines and all of that good stuff. Electric vehicles. we have all of that on our website. So if you look on the website, you will get as much information as you possibly can. And that the more you know, the better it is for us. We look at that and we say, oh, he actually did his research, or she actually did her research and she knows what she's talking about. This is a company that she will want to work for because she's actually done that research, right? So we also, another question that I would say is your strengths and your areas for development. Think of something that you do well. Talk about that. Be proud of the things that you feel that you do well. Maybe it will be sort of organizational skills. Maybe it is being a team player. We like to look for those type of things. When it comes to an interview, you're selling yourself. So this is the first impression that you are giving us as a recruiter, and we want that to be a lasting impression. Okay, so areas for development. Not everyone's perfect. I always say, think of something, because some people feel that they don't have areas for development, but everyone does. But when it comes down to areas for development, you would say, okay, maybe I'm not a morning person, so I do, maybe sometimes I will show up a couple minutes late to work, but this is what I've done in the past. I've set my alarm and now I have improved in that area. It's certain things like that you will have to, recruiters look for. They don't want people to say, oh, I don't have any weaknesses, or I don't have any areas for development, because then they're like, well, maybe you really do, and you are not self-aware when it comes to this particular thing. So when you are preparing for these interviews, it is very good to sort of rehearse, maybe write down your questions. Some people cannot really interview well and they get really nervous. I'm nervous tonight. So things are written in front of me, and so you can either look down. It doesn't hurt to have something written in front of you where you can just refer to your notes. You can always say, sorry, I am a little bit nervous, please bear with me. Not a problem. We've had people come into interviews who get so nervous they can't even say their name. So we do try to keep everyone as comfortable as possible, and knowing that, you may be nervous, but it's good to prepare and have those things in front of you for when you do actually have to sit down in front of a panel, right? It's been a lot easier for persons over the past couple of years because we've been doing interviews via like Zoom or Teams. But now that things are sort of easing up, we are getting our interviews back in person. And we do notice that a lot of people are not currently prepared when it comes to the interview process. So if it's any questions specifically regarding interviews or the scholarship or summer student program, please let me know. Please ask now. I'm looking at time, so just for the sake of time, I don't want to go too much more into detail. But I have also been a mentor as well, and I have worked with a lot of young people, developing them, helping them, sort of asking those specific questions as to where do you feel that you fit in, or what do you enjoy doing, so we can sort of get an understanding as to where we can place you, we can help you. We also do have, or specifically me, have a large network where I can reach out to other people to sort of get someone's foot in the door. Can't guarantee it, but I do try my best. So if you have someone who maybe needs help with their resume, writing their resume, or just the basic interview skills, I can definitely help with that. And just having a regular conversation to see where it is that you feel that you may want to go. We can work on, we do have a few people who feel that, oh, I do want to go into engineering. And once they get there, they don't like it. So we're back to square one as to, let's see how we can help you. So if you do have any questions or queries, please feel free to reach out to myself. Again, my name is Kalita Farbert. My email here is kfarbert@liberty.bm. I will put it in the chat. Let me just do that right now. And I will also give you my cell phone number. That's my business cell phone. And if you have any questions or queries, yes, please feel free to reach out. Yes, we do have job prospects for environmental science as well. We've actually hired for one this year. Unfortunately, we don't have anybody within the apprentice program that can probably start from the ground and work their way up, but we do have opportunities where they can work shadow as well as become a summer student. Sorry, you're on mute.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kalita. There's one thing you forgot when you posted your email is .bm.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Yes,
just saw it.
I will do it again.
No worries. Thank you so much. Are there any questions from the attendees regarding BELCO apprenticeships, scholarships, or the summer programs? 2 more seconds. 1, 2. Okay, thank you so much. So what we're going to do right now is tell you about next week's guest. And we also have a survey link that we want you to do. And the first one to answer the question wins a special prize. So I'm going to put the survey link in the chat. And if you would just click on that. You see it? I could do it if you want me to. Does everyone see it? So you see it now?
Yes, thank you. Ms. Still, is, if
It's
we've
good.
done this week's, do we do the Survey Monkey each week?
Yes, because it's about this week's reflection. Yes. So each week it's a different survey. Yes. And it takes you about 3 minutes to complete. While you are completing it, I will tell you that next week's guest will be the Ministry of Education, and they have lots and lots of scholarships and awards for different areas, and the Heritage Education Fund. So that will be next week. So let's take just 3 minutes to complete the survey. And the first person, I'm going to give you 3 minutes, and then I'm going to put the question in the chat to win the prize. And the first one who types the answer will win the prize.
Win at work by communicating effectively. With Grammarly, meet Ty. He is
I need the dollar, 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 that's what I need. Well, I need the dollar, 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 that's what I need. Said I need the dollar, 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 that's what I need. And if I share with you my story, would you share your dollar with me? Bad times are coming, and I reap what I done sown. Well, tell you something, all that glitters ain't gold. It's been a long road, trouble.
Thank you for those who are completing the survey. I said there's still some people working on the survey. Okay, we'll have one more minute for people to complete the survey. I see we're moving right along. We just want to get your input so we know how we're doing and how we can move forward. If there's anything that we need to do better, what can we do? And also, if there's anything that you're interested in having us share with you, just put that in the question in the last portion of the survey. One more minute, and then we're going to see who wins this raffle. And the raffle for today is a gas voucher from the BIU. And most of us have a car. Everybody wants to get some gas. You got to buy it anyhow. So I can't believe